Steve, it's been a month since Scotland qualified for the World Cup. Are you still pinching yourself? Do you reflect a lot, or is it more just looking forward now to what's about to come?
A little mixture. I don't pinch myself. I was there. I know it happened. I was also pretty confident it could happen, because obviously I trust my players. We knew that if we could get the Denmark game to be a decider, that was the situation that we spoke about, and the build up to the group was to try and make that the pivotal game. We managed to do that. We didn't quite expect to do it in the manner we did it. It was a crazy game. Still got great feelings about the game, the night, the way it finished, and I think most of the country have got similar feelings. But on the back of that is your head starting to turn into thinking about the logistics of the base camps, the training camps, the schedule, friendlies, the build-up, squad selections. So there's been a lot going on inside this little head that's kept me busy enough.
3 qualifications out of 4. How proud are you of that record?
I think the qualifying record of this current group of players, myself and the current group of players, is really good. The record in friendlies not so good, but the record in qualifying is up there. We didn't make World Cup 2022, was a massive disappointment, but it was something we spoke about at the time. It was something we spoke about moving forward. And I spoke about it before the Denmark game to the players, saying you have to remember the pain that we felt missing out on the previous chance to go to a World Cup, and make sure we didn't suffer the same pain this time. And we didn't.
You always seem to have that nice balance, because you don't live in Scotland, but you're back up regularly and you see it from both sides. How have you picked up on what you've done for the country in terms of that feel-good factor, being both in and out of the country?
Yeah, well, obviously I've got family up here, so they keep me informed. I've got friends up here, World Cup fever they keep talking about, and even just coming. This is the first time I've been back in the country since the Denmark game, and the number of people that come up to you and just want to shake your hand and say thank you and well done, which is pretty good. It's pretty special to feel that. You know, you're walking through the airport and every second person wants to shake your hand, but also every second person also wants to know if you've got any tickets. And the answer to that one's always no, because tickets are pretty tight. But no, listen, it's been great. Even in America, going through the airports, there's always a Scotsman somewhere that wants to come over and get a picture or just say well done. And I think it shows the magnitude of the achievement that this group of players have done for their country. So it's been pretty special.
You mentioned tickets. Everyone wants to be there, but the cost is coming to question. Do you understand how difficult that is for fans in terms of wanting to be at the World Cup, but the pricing's maybe something that's been questioned?
We can't control the prices. Listen, it's expensive to go to America anyway. Even if you're going on holiday to America, you need to save up, and you need to save up, and you need to save up to get across the Atlantic and have your holiday there. So it was always going to be an expensive World Cup. The tickets are set, the ticket prices are set by FIFA. My biggest wish is that people don't put themselves into too much debt trying to get there. If you can afford to go, then great. But if you can't afford to go, then understand that don't put yourself and your family into debt. I think that's a big thing for me. I'd like to think that with the smaller allocation that we've got, that a lot of the fans who travel everywhere watching it, and I'm talking about going to the far-flung places that maybe only 1,200 people will turn up. I'd like to think that all those fans have got the chance to have a ticket to get to some of the matches. And known some of them, not very well, but known them and having seen them around the place, I'm pretty sure they'll find some great ways to be there.
How does the preparations ramp up for the World Cup then from now?
Well, I'm just back from America looking at some potential base camps, so obviously you've got to try and find a base camp. We're not high on the list of priorities when it comes to getting the top end base camp, so we have to wait and see what we're going to get. And then it's a matter of weighing up between logistics, how long to travel, how close you are to the stadiums that we're going to play in. I was hoping Boston with 2 games in Boston, we'd be able to base close up there, but from what I've seen on the catalogue, there's not too many bases that are up there. Some of the better bases are a little bit further away, where you'd have to travel in match day -2 maybe. So there's quite a lot to weigh up in terms of getting the base right, and obviously you want somewhere where the players are not going to feel as though they're isolated. There's an issue around getting players' families out, and so there's quite a lot to think about in terms of logistics around about the tournament. I've got a better idea having had a look at a few bases. We'll also be looking for a pre-base camp in America. So we'll look to finish the season here with a send-off game for Hampden. Hopefully get a pre-base camp out in America somewhere, preferably really hot and really sweaty and really sticky, so that the players can acclimatise as much as they can for the matches. Try and organise a friendly out there just before the tournament, the week before the tournament starts, and then into the tournament itself. So a lot to organise, but it's fantastic to be in a position where we can organise. We're not worrying about March playoffs. It was great to be at the draw and see the name Scotland with no asterisks next to it. There was no might be there, which was the case in Qatar, and the draw was a little bit strange because you were there but you weren't there. This time we were there, although I have to say the draw was pretty surreal.
I think it's still going on.
It was pretty crazy. Start with Bocelli and finish with the Village People, only in America.
Were you dancing?
I definitely wasn't dancing. I know somebody said I stood up when Village People come on, but I was actually leaving.
Fair enough. What did you think of the draw then? I mean, it's very similar to '98, but
similar to '98, very tough. I mean, Brazil ranked 5 in the world, Morocco ranked 11, and Morocco probably, by the time the tournament comes round, will be inside the top 10, because I would expect them to do really well in the African nations. So difficult. Haiti, first time there since 1974, I think. So they'll be determined to go there and do their country proud. So listen, we can expect 3 tough games. I think if you get to any major tournament, you know the games are going to be tough, and this time will be no exception.
There is a feeling in that Haiti game Scotland are going to have to get off to a better start. Can you over-focus on that game, or is it a case of that will be the first game, they are the seed lower, Scotland have to win that one?
We'll have to try and win all the games. I've never gone into a football match thinking, oh, we'll play this one for a draw, we'll play this one for a narrow defeat. So it's quite good because you've obviously got the clear week into the Haiti game. You've got 5 days between Haiti and Morocco, so that's a good preparation period for the Morocco game, and then you've got 4 days to prepare for Brazil, which by the time we get there will be more than enough time. I'm hopeful. I've spoken to the boys that work in the analyst department. We're hopeful that we can get most of the analysis done before March, so we can actually sit in March and go through 1 or 2 of the key details for the matches in the summer. Although obviously the friendlies are there in March to be played as well, so we're trying to be a little bit ahead of the tournament, and hopefully we prepare very well.
Do you see your squad as pretty set, or do you think there'll be many new faces in it by the time we get there?
I think when you look, there's always space for somebody else in the squad. There's always obviously I'm quite a loyal coach to my players, but that loyalty has to work both ways. You're not just going to be in the squad just because I'm loyal to the players. They have to continue to perform to the level that they've always performed. There's always a space for an outsider, somebody that comes from nowhere who suddenly hits a rich vein of form. Going back to the last Euros would be somebody like James Forrest, who suddenly towards the end of that season found a really good level of form that got him into the squad. There's always 1 or 2 that pop up from nowhere that suddenly force their way into the squad. Normally a squad is 23 players, then it goes to 26, so there's suddenly 3 extra places. So yeah, I'm loyal to my squad, but they deserve to be there.
So much talk about Harvey Barnes. Is that something that you have approached with him, or would it have to be the other way around?
Something that's open. It's just pretty open. That's how it is. Obviously Harvey was asked about it in an interview. He was pretty non-committal. So I've been asked about it in an interview, and I'm going to be pretty non-committal. You never know how these things are going to pan out. I spoke to Harvey a couple of years ago about possibly coming and joining the Scotland squad. At the time, he thought he'd moved to Newcastle. He felt he had a chance of being involved with England, and we decided just to leave it there, and that's the situation.
Do you think qualifying for the World Cup's a vindication of your approach and your tenure at Scotland? Because after the Euros, you came in for a bit of criticism. Do you think this is something that's vindicated what the work you've done?
Not just after the Euros, I think at certain points. Football now is very short term. You can be 2-3 games and then you're being criticised, or you win a game, you're great, you lose a game, you're rubbish. There are big extremes. After the last Euros, I personally felt the criticism was a little bit over the top, but I'm quite stubborn. I rode it out. I decided I knew what I wanted to do. I trust my players. We knew we hadn't done what we wanted to do in the Euros, but I also knew that this group of players could get to a World Cup. It's what I wanted to do. It's what they wanted to do. And you just see it out. Look, there comes a time where you have to close out the critics. You have to close your mind to it. I've always been pretty clear in my mind what I want to do. It doesn't always make other people happy. But I think now if you look at it and you're talking about making other people happy, I think this group of players, myself, my coaching staff, we've made the country happy. So yeah, there is a little bit of vindication in there somewhere.
Just finally, should Kenny McLean have taken the ball into the corner?
No, I think Kenny's decision was right.
That wasn't what you were pointing though.
I was actually pointing, there's somebody overlapping on there. I thought we could score on the breakaway because we had a 3v1. And I knew Kenny wasn't going to run away for anybody because that wouldn't be the strongest part of Kenny's game. But listen, what he did was just a mad way to end a mad night at Hampden. A night that anybody who was there, I think, will remember it forever.